Nobody here.
But, oh, okay. Oh boy. Well, I believed that. Hello and welcome to Night Chat. Let's get into it. So this channel went from trying to do my own short films, which had a ghost theme, to realizing I'm being gang stalked by the American government all my life. So it went from doing my own thing, which was ghost stories, to being terrified so much I became a born-again Christian after I realized I'm being victimized by our own loving government. I did not want to do this. This was not my dream any time in my life. But when I was 4 years old, I was taken out into a canyon by 7 teenagers, me and my sister. They did horrible things to us. It's a police report to support what I'm saying. Then when I was 10 years old, I got a phone call by some man who says, "I know you're alone. I'm watching you, and I'll be watching you all your life." Then I found men in the window staring at me throughout the years when I was a kid. Oh, there's even more to tell you. There's so much bizarre stuff. I mean, I never asked to be here. I was forced into this position. In fact, last year I decided to get back to my own thing. I stopped doing the Illuminati stuff. And the neighbors next door, the gang stalkers, are so detached from reality that they didn't say, okay, the guy's singing Elvis Presley, he stopped the Illuminati stuff, let's just leave the guy alone. No, instead they put some really strange material in my apartment. It looked like rice. And this stuff was biting me or doing something to me because I put some shipping tape around my bed thinking it was bed bugs, and this stuff got caught all throughout the tape. Then when I realized it, I said, okay, there's been strange stuff in those condos next door. I think it's coming from there. So I got my camera out, my camcorder. I said, this really weird materials in my apartment. I think it's coming from these condos right here. And then at that moment, 6 huge men in suits, by the way, they never wear suits over there, but 6 huge men in suits come jogging out to the platform, sweating bricks, pointing over to my place, just freaking out. The video I uploaded at that moment froze. The next 3 videos I made at that moment froze. Suddenly my YouTube channel froze for 8 hours. I went to a friend's house for 2 nights afraid they were going to kill me. And then, 2 weeks later, this guy blocks me at a red light and goes like this to me in the mirror. 2 weeks later from that, and I remember this, I stopped doing this stuff again. I stopped doing my Illuminati reporting. I was too afraid, too scared. After that, so I'm being, I'm being neutral. I have 2 Marine guys trying to sneak in my window at night at 1 o'clock in the morning and kill me and my brother. I called for help. I called the police. I called 911, and the police come out. They don't want to shine their flashlight behind my studio, which told me they were in on it. This is what happened in San Diego and North Park. In San Diego, this is what happened to me. This is my story. Now, there's a lot more than this involved in the story. I'm just giving you a quick summary. I just wanted to do my own art. But these thugs next door just cannot leave me alone. They cannot just let me live my life. They had to butt into my life. And there's a series of things they've done. Now, the taxpayers are paying for all this, or they're paying for all, I don't know how much money it costs, but there's a lot of people next door that are watching me across the street. They've been watching me all my life, but they've increased the program from a few people to, like, there's at least 10 that I'm aware of across the street, Next door neighbors from them, the condos and the house toward the park, and another house over on the next street. Not because I'm a criminal, but because they've been watching me all my life, and they don't want me to tell you this. They're violating. I'm an American citizen. I'm not breaking any laws. I'm only was just trying to make my own ghost stories, my own movies, my own short films. They didn't like that. Why? I don't know. I can't tell you why. But this is what happened to me. So they got so arrogant, they just kept harassing me and terrorizing me. So I decided, you know what? Enough's enough. You know, if they're doing this to me, and then I go on YouTube and they're doing this to a whole bunch of other people, this isn't a foreign government doing this. This is our government here, and I'll tell you why. Because the FBI, they watch YouTube for videos like this, and if they thought there was any kind of security breach in America, any kind of actual foreign terrorists bothering me, they would have been here like that, and they would have solved the problem. But the reason why they didn't come to help me is because they're the ones that are doing it. You see how we can't make a complaint? Because the ones that we go to complain to, the ones that we go for help, the ones that we need to help us are the ones that are committing the crimes. Now it has to be the government at the very top. And then you got these black programs, like an octopus. You got the brain at the top, which is the government at the very top. Then you got the tentacles, which is the black programs that extend from the top. Now all the crimes they do, invading countries, killing innocent families, America's been doing this for 60 years. For whatever excuse they use, they will always have a reason why they go into other countries and kill people. But now they're committing crimes against their own people. And we're not talking about just the fluoride or the water that does nothing to you but give you cancer and builds your bones, and a whole bunch of other stuff like chemtrails and GMOs and so on, and the list goes on and on. But now they're actually hiring thugs to terrorize people. And I see a lot of these victims, when I watch the videos, are homeless people, people on the streets, people impoverished, people that have no friends, people that have no help, elderly people. These are the people that our government is running programs against, to hurt, to damage, to destroy. And there's no way we're going to ever escape this. The problem will only grow and be rolled out on all the American public if America does not wake up soon. Send a neutral team into the top of the government to analyze, to evaluate, and just begin prosecutions on the famous faces. Because if you bring one famous face down at the top, in my opinion, it'll be a domino effect that will start bringing case after case after case down. Then we Americans can finally rest, finally have peace and security. That's the only way. That's the only way. Because if we don't do anything about it, if we just sit back and like an ostrich put our head inside the sand, we're just saying, come eat me up, I'm right here for you, baby. That's what's going to happen if we don't start prosecutions. We need a neutral team. I'd rather have a school bus driver or a cashier at Wendy's be my president, or be my congressman, or be my mayor. Someone that's just, has a good intention that might not be the most intelligent person that you ever met. Because I'd rather have someone that has good intent governing over me than someone that has nothing but malice and destruction in mind to their own people. They're not happy just being at the top, skimming off the top and being rich and powerful. They're not happy with that. They want to see us hurt. They get off on that. And they've been blocking my YouTube channel because YouTube is part of it. YouTube's in cahoots. YouTube's owned by the government. They own Google, they own YouTube, they own Facebook, and the sooner you realize that, the sooner you're going to see the bigger picture. So what I have to do now is I got to put flyers out, I got to let the public know I'm here, and I got to really focus on things that Alex Jones, in my opinion, isn't focusing on, which is we, the smaller people. He's up at the top, focusing on the top people. And I watched his channel for 4 years. I like Alex Jones, but I don't really see him like hammering, prosecute. I mean, if we don't prosecute and start arresting these thugs, then it's going to be business as usual. Now they're the ones that overjumped, they're the ones that overreached, that overstepped. They put their foot in their mouth, and now that they're caught with their hand in the cookie jar, I believe that they overjumped the shark. Now's the time for us to make our move legally and peacefully by sending a neutral team of investigators in and begin prosecutions. Now, I can't do this alone. I'm just telling you that I'm a victim. All my life, I've been a victim of gang stalking by the American government. They used to come inside my apartment back in 1990, also in 1995, in 98, 99. I dated a woman that was actually in cahoots with them, not knowing this at the time, 1995 to 98. I was in love with her. And she just threw me under the bus. See, this is America. We were founded by our forefathers, the founding fathers of this country, created the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. There's a reason why we have so much blessings here from God. Because at one time we were a nation of freedom. And now that slavery's over, thank God for that. Now that races are finally becoming equal in most people's eyes, which is the way it should have always been. Now's the time for us to finally say, oh, thank God there's no more racism. There is, but it's going away. For us to finally, for everyone to be free, now they're about to put the chains on us and stick us in the FEMA camps. You see where I'm going with this? If we don't get some folks in there, regular folks like you and me, to go in there and investigate, prosecute, our goose is going to be cooked. How do you like your goose? Well done or rare? And the truth is, is what I like to deal with more than other people is, for me, it's about, I see a lot of crimes, supposedly. I'm not sure who's guilty or what. I know I'm a victim of gang stalking, so I know there's something going on. Now I know for a fact there's something going on. But I'm not more about just showing all these documents that are pointing to treason with the CIA, or pointing to the government doing this or that or this. We already know there's all this stuff going on. Now it's about prosecution. That's what I'm mostly about. This channel is mostly about, okay, now we know it, now we begin prosecutions. Not me, but you people out there, you Americans out there. It's up to you guys to gather peacefully, to get organized and get this stuff going, get the ball rolling. I'm just telling you, I'm a victim of gang stalking. This is a fact. This is going on right here in San Diego. 100% fact. And how do I know it's our government? Because the FBI never came here, because they're monitoring my channel, they're freezing my channel, they're doing whatever they want to do to me. Which tells me if the government was really concerned about us and it wasn't our government, they would have came here a long time ago and they would have said, okay, America, okay, this is a security breach. What's going on? What's going on? That's what you do when you're in control, when you're responsible for a nation, is you're on it like that. And there's no way they don't know. Because they have people that monitor the Illuminati talk, and when they don't arrest the guilty, when they don't come in to help, you know what side of the track they're on. Now let's talk about the star people for a minute. You have 6,000 years ago drawings of gray aliens in caves in the pyramids. Soon after that, you got these giants. They both coincide, the stories of the pyramids and the caves, they coincide with the Bible, of fallen angels coming from the sky, mingling with the people, making these Nephilim, these hybrid people that are part gray alien, part human. In other words, part fallen angel, part human. And they were vicious. They were eating us, they were torturing us, and they were splicing all of God's creation with genetics. Genetics is a no-no. God said, I created this place, even though the devil has authority over it, because man and woman relinquished the authority in the Garden of Eden. God still is the owner. The devil might have the the devil might have the car registered, but God has the pink slip. He's about to take the car away. You understand? hit and run, hit and run, hit and run. So what we have to do is realize the truth that they were here before and they're here again, because their symbols are all over society now. They weren't here 70 years ago. You didn't have Starbucks, Nike. Everything you're seeing isn't created, isn't new. It's actually regurgitated. It's actually recycled. It's actually stuff that was here before 6,000 years ago, with these horrific stories of child sacrifice, human sacrifice to the gods, or the rain when it comes, the crops when it grow, even though they're the ones that control the weather through devices and organizations like HARP, where now we control the weather again. So suddenly we control the weather, we have fiber optics, all this technology, and all this symbolism that was here 6,000 years ago when there was technology and symbolism. It's a link. They match up. Then we had the same symbols. Then there's this 6,000 years of space. 6,000 years where they were gone. The symbols were gone, and the violence from them, the fallen ones, were gone. The gray aliens, the fallen angels. Here we are 6,000 years later. The symbols are everywhere again, and if you look carefully, you'll see the same signs in the technologies, in the treason against the American people, in the crimes that our government at the top is committing against we the people. It points to a man named Aleister Crowley, who went around in the 20s and 30s opening up the portals. He said this is why he committed all these crimes against kids, killing them, eating them, and he was opening portals in the name of the devil. He started talking to this really weird entity named Lamb, which looked like a space alien, big head. He looked like one of the very first accounts of the gray aliens that pops into our picture up until 6,000 years ago when they were here before. So then, after he opened up the portals, people thought he was crazy, but suddenly you start having worldwide accounts of alien abductions. It's always the same story of a laboratory, a rape, the gray alien rapes the woman, then there's always a missing baby. They don't just take babies, they take the babies that are half gray alien, half human. In other words, half fallen angel, half human. Those are the babies they're taking. Why would they take the babies for the last 70 years? What would you possibly need with them? Use your brain. They're putting them back in society, raising them up, and putting them in charge of the government, in charge of Hollywood, in charge of the music industry. Now they're doctors. Now they're running all the major hospitals, all the major police departments. Use your brain. Think about it. What would you do if you were going to invade a place? What would you do if you were a gray alien and you wanted to invade Earth? You have to get in there. Well, you can because you're a gray alien. So what do? You make a child of yourself that looks like the people you're invading, and you stick them in like a puppet. Hollywood. Hollywood means from the holly tree, which wizards use as a magic wand to hypnotize you, put you in a trance. Now, you don't need me to tell you this. You can just forget the alien stuff for a minute. You can go do your own research and see white papers to classify by the CIA where they admit all kinds of creepy plans to fly airplanes into our buildings and blame Cuba in the 60s, 1960s, to go into movie theaters and shoot people and blame Cuba in the 1960s. Suddenly you have all these shootings with saying, oh, the guns are bad, let's take the guns away. You have all these shootings suddenly. You have airplanes flying into buildings like 911. Because they need two things. To take away your rights is one, is why they do what they do. And two, is to take away the guns. When they asked Japan, why didn't you guys invade America back during World War II? They said, well, we knew that everybody had a gun because of the freedom of the guns, and we knew that there would be a gun behind every tree. That's why they didn't come to our land just to invade us. See, the guns are important for people to have guns, not for hunting. The forefathers left the guns in the Constitution for us to have for protection. Protection from who? Anyone that invades a country, whether it's a foreign country or whether our own government went rogue. Now, I'm not for violence. I'm only for peace. I want it to be known. I'm only for peace, and I want things to be done legally. But I can't do this alone. We need Americans out there that really care about the human race, that really care about America being free, to start questioning, getting a neutral team of investigators and just begin prosecutions. on the stuff we can already prove. That would not, it might not possibly stop them for good, but it would definitely slow things down. You would save millions of lives, beginning with your own. You see what I'm saying? They're coming for us. We're cattle to them. We're cattle. We're supposed to be grazing inside the prison camp before. See, a little thinking goes a long way. Hey, thanks for watching. Get your heart right with Jesus. I'm a born-again Christian. Just follow the 10 Commandments. Pray daily to the Lord. Tell Him you're sorry for any transgressions against Him. Ask Him to forgive your sins. Follow all 10 Commandments. Forgive your enemies, those who persecute you. I don't want no one to fall away. I want everyone to be okay. That's the truth. You know, I don't know if Obama and the Clintons or the Bushes are guilty. I just know that Alex Jones says they are. All these people are saying they are. Well, we don't know who it is. Someone's guilty. I was gang stalked. I'm being gang stalked right now as we speak. And this isn't some faraway country, you know, like, you know, England, or it's not coming from across the stars. Well, I guess that is up for debate. But yes, it's true. I'm being gang stalked. A lot of us are. A lot of us that woke up are. In my case, it's been all my life. So there's something going on in America. Something really dirty and corrupt. And if we don't begin investigating by a neutral team that can't be bought out, we're done. We are done. Thanks for watching.